All right. Well, I'm excited to kick off today's workshop. Thank you all for coming. Um, I'm really excited to be kicking off the year with this one. It's how to plan your 2025 digital marketing in 2020 in 25 minutes. 10 is you knocked it out of the park, right? You exceeded all your goals and beat your revenue that you were trying to do. So go ahead and put that in the chat now. Um, my name is Matt Parsons. I am the founder of Sharpline Marketing, and we work exclusively with painting contractors in the US. So again, I'm excited for this session. We're going to try to stay on time here and get through in 25 minutes. So we'll jump right into it and kick things off here. So our agenda, we're going to be setting clear goals and targets for the year, right? How much revenue by the end of the year, right? You guys added a few messages in that chat there on how you did last year. So going into new year, what is your goal? How much revenue are you trying to hit? And make sure you write that down. I really believe there's power in what we write down, and looking ahead, getting a super clear vision on what you want to accomplish and where you want to go, and then using that to reverse engineer your marketing strategy to bring that into reality. And there's massive power in that process. So set your clear goals, then we're going to be realigning your KPIs and tracking your progress to achieve that outcome, right? We can reverse engineer uh, your yearly revenue, bring it back to quarterly and monthly KPIs or key performance indicators, and realign what you need to do to get there, right? I think the most important KPI is how many leads you need to bring in terms of your marketing strategy to make that a reality, right? How many leads do you bring in? How many do you convert? What's your average job revenue bring in? And you can use all that to make sure you're hitting those goals. And next, we'll be mapping out that plan to hit those accomplishments, right? A goal without a plan is just a dream. We need to figure out what we need to do with our marketing strategy, right? You set a budget, make sure you have your budget in place, your channels that you will be marketing in, and then some important trends, right? To make sure you're keeping up. Digital marketing, right? It's always changing, always uh, new things always coming out, and it's important to stay on top of those trends. And of course, setting you up for the massive success in 2025 and beyond. So let's start here with setting clear goals. Um, you want to make sure you set those clear goals. Like I said, you write down, what it is, what's your revenue that you're aiming to get for 2025. Write that down, set that clear goal. What are your goals? Without goals, you're kind of just, doing the day to day. You're doing the jobs, you're getting through it. But at the end of the year, do you have that, those KPIs that you've been hitting? So you need to set those clear goals. And to start setting a new goal for 2025, it's always good to look back and see what your current snapshot is, or your snapshot for last year was. So what is your average monthly revenue, your typical number of jobs per month, and then some other metrics like your average job cost or average ticket price, and then the average conversion that you're doing in the field and the number of teams you have or trucks that are running. So you put all this down in place so you have that starting point. You know what you did last year and where you're at, so you can look back at that as this year goes on to make sure you're making the right progress. So then you plan out your long-term vision, right? What's your vision for 2025? What is the annual revenue that you want to hit? How many more teams do you want to add on, and why? Why is that important to you? Is it more time with the family, right? Is it creating a more sustainable business, hiring more employees? That why is very important. So what are your goals for 2025 and how many leads will you need every month to get there, right? And you use that once you have those goals and you know how many leads you need to get there, you'll use that to plan out your marketing strategy. So let's take a look at that marketing strategy in order to hit those goals. We have what we call a digital dominance method, where this is everything you need to look at and need to be doing to get the best results in today's world. So we have local service ads, retargeting, online directories, paid search ads, social media, marketing automation, repeat and referral customers, and SEO and organic, right? So those are the main areas that we focus on to make sure you're visible and you have a great online presence. And with that, we use our growth roadmap. It's called our accelerated growth roadmap, right? We have 9 very clear steps to get that internet marketing right. The first one, you need to drive leads, right? You can have the best website in the world, uh, but if nobody's visiting it, it's not going to help, right? So you need to drive those leads. You have 3 main options: your organic SEO, so that's when people search online and they find you. The paid ads, so you're renting that top spot in the Google search results, and your database, any customers that you currently already have, if they're in your CRM, that you can be reaching back out to, right? That's your prospect list. So once you're driving those leads, you want to make sure you're maximizing the conversions once they get to your website. So you got to have a good website that is built to convert uh, without spending a ton on fancy web designers, right? You don't need, not that you don't want your website to look good, but there's some very key elements that you need in place to make sure those leads are turning into customers. You want to have a great reputation. You need to have that Google business profile filled out. If you haven't claimed it, you definitely need to claim that, and having a strategy to constantly be getting more reviews from your customers. And then automation. We'll talk a little bit about this on making sure your leads are followed up on, uh, and not bogging down your staff with those follow-ups. Then once you've driven leads and you've maximized your conversions, you want to optimize those results. And that's an ongoing process. You want to have a clear idea on your total spend and make sure you're dialed in on what your average cost per lead is. So with those 2 things in place, you can measure that return on investment and know, okay, maybe you can scale things up, bring in more leads, increase your revenue, or you need to tone things down. But it's all in that optimizing results and having that clear picture of what your return on investment is. So first, we'll jump into um, organic SEO. So we have, right, drive leads, maximize conversion, and optimize results. We're going to start here with organic SEO, right? And that is, I'm sure everyone's heard it. Everyone knows a little bit about it, but that's your website, right? That's having the helpful content on your website to make sure it's showing up in those search results. So we use on-page SEO. It's what we call it. So you have pages for each service that you offer on your website, different pages for each service, different pages for each city that you offer your services in. And then you want to optimize the titles, the images. You want to have unique content on all your websites. You don't want to copy paste from another website. Google does not like that. Your Google business profile, you want to make sure that's claimed and optimized. And then we talk about citation management here. Sorry, skipped ahead. You want to make sure there's like Google Maps is a citation, right? And you want to make sure that's put out into anywhere else on the internet it can be. Any other of those online directories, you want to make sure it's added to those. And it just adds that authenticity or that authority that Google's looking for to know your business. Anywhere they look on these websites, your business exists. And then ongoing content, you always want to be adding new photos, projects that you've done, blog posts, when is the best time to paint your house type of thing. That's always super helpful. And then leveraging all those signals. And that's some different techniques on making sure Google knows that you have this website and you are creating this content and you're linking them all together correctly. So there's a lot that can go into that on-page, that website SEO, but you definitely need to make sure you have those set up correctly. So once that is set up, you have your website really built out well, then you have your paid search, right? And these give you, this rents that top spot, right? Everybody knows that SEO takes time. It's not an instant thing. You can't just make a website and expect it to be showing up at number one the next day. We typically see about 3 to 6 months to start seeing really good results on that. So paid search is a really good way to start getting leads right away. So we build that on top of your organic foundation. You have your website, you've started doing SEO, then you can do your paid search and your local service ads to start bringing in those leads quicker. And then we have paid directories, pay per lead. You can add those on, and then social ads, Facebook ads, these retargeting where people that maybe visit your website but don't become customers, we can follow them around the internet, retargeting them with these ads. So your brand is always top of mind. One thing that we notice a lot on pay-per-click campaigns that I just want to mention is why most of them fail, or I guess these are the biggest reasons we see them fail. You only set up one ad for all your services. So if you offer interior, exterior, cabinets, epoxy, whatever it is, if you just set up one ad that says, hey, we're a painting company, we do all these things, it doesn't perform as well. You need to have one specific ad for your cabinet repaints. And that ad only talks about cabinet repaints, and it links to a specific landing page that also is just about cabinet repaints. It has your photos, it has your information just for that specific service. And then on that landing page, you have a very clear call to action, maybe with the discount saying, 10% off for all cabinet repaints in the winter. Fill out this form to schedule your free estimate, right? And it needs to be very specific. There's so many times we see more vague or general ads that just aren't performing well. So those are kind of three main things that are kind of the basics for a pay-per-click campaign to make sure you have that set up correctly. And then also with paid ads, it's very important to be tracking. This is an example of our dashboard that we have for our customers. So you can easily see the leads that come in from the paid strategy, the investment made, and then your average cost per lead, right? So you have it very, very simple, very obvious. Is your cost per lead giving you that return on investment? So very important to have that dashboard and to be tracking your ROI. And then the final thing we have is your database, right? If you're just starting out, you won't have that big of a database, but it's important to keep track of this, right? You want to keep track of your previous customers. We see some good results. Messaging, you can do a text message campaign or an email campaign, and re-engaging past customers. Maybe they've done an exterior repaint last summer, and you have a special on interior repaints this winter, so you can message them and let them know about it, right? Return customers are always the best. So once you have your leads, you're driving those leads in, then you need to focus on maximizing those conversions, right? When somebody sees your truck, when they see maybe a yard sign, they search for you, they're going to come to that website. That's going to be the hub. That's the main hub. All these leads you're driving over here, show up to your website, right? So you want to make sure that's built to convert. And we have 12 critical elements that we use to enhance that conversion. So to run through these, you want to speak to your target avatar or your audience, right? What are their fears and frustrations? Why should they choose you, right? And that's good to focus on for each service you offer, right? Exterior repaints is a different process than going into someone's home and repainting their cabinets, right? So what are they worried about, or what have been some bad past experiences with um, cabinet repaints that you want to reassure them, your process is better, right? Use those unique selling points. What makes you better than the competition? On your website, you want to be real. You want to use authentic images with your team on the homepage and throughout. You want to use real project photos that you've done, taking pictures on site on jobs and posting those on your site. It is super helpful for that authenticity. And with that, you want to use video. Video is huge this day and age online. A welcome video on the homepage is super helpful. And then even videos explaining your service, right? Explaining why someone should contact you versus the competition can be super helpful. You want to leverage social proof. You want to showcase those reviews, right? You work hard to get those reviews from customers. You want those on the homepage. You want to show them. There's some different tools you can use that help embed them. And we have some good strategies on where to put those, but it's important to make sure those are showing up. You want to get the basics in order. You need a phone number, very clear and obvious. Top right-hand corner is what we see the best results with. And then you want to ensure that there is a web form customers can fill out, right? You want to make it easy for them to contact you. And you want to add credibility. If you have Better Business Bureau, if you're part of that, if you have, like a local chamber of commerce that you're a part of, add those in, right? Maybe it's PCA, put that on there so they know you're an established, trusted company. You want to ensure there's a very clear call to action on each page that speaks to that customer and tells them exactly what to do, right? On your interior repaint page, you want there to say, fill out this form for your interior repaint estimate. Make it very clear. And then with that, use special offers or coupons that match that service. So with that form, fill out the form to get your free estimate and get 10% off, right? Of maybe a full, or maybe it's 3 rooms, you get 10% off. And then make sure your website's mobile optimized, right? Almost everybody's on mobile these days. It's becoming more and more of the place to focus on when it comes to your website. With the easy click to call, you can make the phone numbers where users can click it and call directly from the website. One of the new trends we're seeing is live chat. There's a lot of options to use a live chat that is tied to a text message. So customers can fill out the live chat and it goes straight to your office as a text message, and you can communicate directly that way. And start giving clients the option to book online. So if you can add a calendar to the website, again, there's a lot of software and services that offer that to allow customers to just schedule their estimate right there on the website. It really streamlines that process. And you want to make sure your website loads quickly. That site speed matters. There's a lot of variations that can go into that, but it's very important that your site is loading quickly. And then engaging with text messages and automations. So when someone fills out a form, you give them an automated message response. Hey, we got your message. We'll be reaching out in 24 hours, right? That can be an email or a text message, but it's important to have that automation in place so you're not bogging down your office or your time. Putting those automations can really be helpful in making sure those leads are followed up with, right? You can do have a drip, right, where they fill out the form, you send them a message once every day for a week, right? Making sure that they have a clear path to scheduling their project. So you'll see just a quick example here on where to convert or making sure your websites convert. You have your website, your phone number in the top right, a location, and then schedule your free estimate. So very clear right when you get to the home page. People don't have to go searching for it. And why is that conversion so important? Right? You can see really quickly in these numbers, these two scenarios, why making sure that conversion is set up can make a huge difference. So scenario one, you have 400 visitors to your site a month at a 5% conversion. That gives you 20 calls or leads, right, a month. If you can convert 30% of those leads, you get 6 booked jobs. And then with an average of $5,000, that gives you $30,000 in revenue for that scenario. In scenario two, if all you do is increase your website conversion by 5% to 15%, you get 60 calls instead of 20. And then if you still convert 30% of those, that increases your book jobs up to 18 book jobs, which leads to $90,000 in revenue. So just by increasing your website conversion, you can see how it can really impact your revenue. So super important to make sure that is dialed in. Leveraging video and multimedia, like we said, having this set up, videos to explain why you could be better than the competitors. Showcasing your social proof. You can put in a little box on, how many reviews you have, what your ranking is. We also like to embed the actual reviews on the website. And then getting the fundamentals right. You have this phone number, you have the reviews, you have a easy place to fill out a form and schedule. And then you have the coupons or discounts that we had talked about, right? You're giving an incentive to fill out that form and sign up. It's the phone number. I think one of them, the last one in here was the web chat. Yeah, so having that web chat. So when you see all this together, phone number, social proof, a form to fill out, and a web chat, right? It's those conversion elements are all in place. And this is the homepage right when the user lands there. So very important to get that dialed in. So that was your website. Now going into reputation, right? Google Business Profiles becoming more and more important. We see 46% of all Google searches have local intent. So almost half of the searches that happen on Google are looking for local businesses or local information. So, and then 33% of all those clicks go to this top map pack. When people search those 3 businesses that show up in the map pack, that's what the users are clicking on. So it's a great place to be in, and you need to have a process in place to make sure you're getting those reviews from your customers when the jobs are done. So 76% of people who conduct a local search visit a business or call a business within 24 hours. So these are you call them today's buyers. They're searching for painters near me. They're ready to get that job started or get that estimate rolling today, right? So it's very important to be focusing on your reputation. We did a webinar earlier last year specifically on the Google Business Profile. So you can find that on our website if you want to dive into that a little bit more. And then finally, on maximizing conversions, we want to look at automation, right? The problem we see with a lot of lead flow is they leave unconverted, right? A lot of the web forms fail to convert. Someone will fill out the web form, you'll get it in your inbox, and maybe you're on the job for a day and you don't respond until tomorrow. And they've already found their other company that they're going to be working with. So we see that when they're not followed up within 15 minutes, they already go cold. So and also that they must be followed up with at least 5 to 7 times before they book, right? They're out there, they're doing their research. You need to stay top of mind. And going back to text messaging, a lot of consumers are preferring that more often. Maybe they're busy, they're at work, and it's just easier to communicate via text versus a phone call or an email. The solution we've found is using that automation. I think this is one of the biggest trends that we've seen is using that automation to follow up. When someone fills out a form, it sends them a text message or it sends them an email. Hey, we got your message. We'll follow up with you soon. Here's a link to book your estimate, right? Whatever that message is, you're making sure you're following up with them. And then you automate that follow up, maybe for 5 days. You have to find out what works best for you, but doing that automation and engaging with them via text, we see really good results with that. Okay, so we've driven the leads, maximized your conversion once you get the leads. Now you always need to be looking at optimizing those results, right? You want to know what your total spend is. If you're doing SEO, if you're doing paid search, and you're reactivating your database, you want to know how much spend is going into each of those things and what the average cost per lead is coming from each of those lead sources. So we have a dashboard where we track all of that for our customers, right? We'll see the total number of leads that come in, the total investment that was spent, and then the average cost per lead broken down. And we track where each lead comes from. So it's very clear on what's working best and where we should focus more efforts onto. And this is great to know, right? Your average cost per lead, are you getting that ROI? Is the money you're spending, that total investment actually, and the jobs you're booking off it, is that actually bringing you a return? So optimizing our results there with your total spend, average cost per lead, and your ROI. Always important to be tracking those things. Tracking that ROI, you want to optimize that marketing spend. It's Google, Facebook, all the advertising platforms, they make it very easy to spend a lot of money. So it's always important to stay on top of that and to set some realistic goals. You need to know how many leads does it take for you to book a job, right? What's that percentage of leads that come in? Can you book 80% of them come in? And use that to set, realistic goals. Okay, we'll spend X amount of dollars, bring in X amount of leads, and we can convert those leads into customers. And that's once you have that set and you have that um, measured out, you can drive that growth, right? It's data-driven decision making. So you can scale up or down and you know how many leads are going to come in and about how many jobs you're going to book off those leads. So tracking all of that is super helpful. So what are the takeaways, right? What, for you specifically, what area do you need to focus on the most, right? What's that lowest hanging fruit? We just went through a ton of different things, but it's important to stay focused on those quick wins, right? Maybe you're already getting a lot of leads, but your website needs help. They're not converting, right? You're getting a lot of traffic, but you're not getting customers out of it. Maybe your paid search isn't doing really well. You don't know how much money, you don't know what your return on that investment is, right? How many leads are you getting out of it? So get those, think about that overall strategy and what your lowest hanging fruit is, and use that to plan your focus, right? Plan your focus. As business owners, it's easy to be overwhelmed with everything we have to do in our businesses. But if you can really plan out that focus and figure out what your lowest hanging fruit is, it's a lot easier to mark those and get that done. So just to reiterate our 9 clear steps, right? For the accelerated growth roadmap, you have your driving leads, maximizing conversion, and optimizing the results. So use this to figure out what's your low hanging fruit, which one do you need to focus on first, and write those down. What are your top 3? What do you want to get done this month to make sure you're hitting your goals next month? So what we covered, I think we got here in just under 25 minutes. I think we're pretty close. what we covered. Set clear goals and targets for the year. Realign your KPIs, so your key performance integrate indicators. You're tracking what you've done, what you've spent, how many leads are coming in to make sure you can achieve the outcomes that you want. And you want to map out that plan, right? Reverse engineer what your goals are for the quarter and the month to make sure you have a budget in place, you're marketing in the right channels, and you're staying on top of those trends going forward. So that should set you up for that massive success going into 2025 and beyond. If you need any help, we're super happy to help. We do these webinars once a month, and we have a few others you can go take a look at. But we do this every day. This is our main focus. So if you need help, if you have questions, feel free to reach out. We do offer a free online marketing review. So if you want, give us a call, 888-695-4805, or you can visit our website, sharplinemarketing.com/schedule. We'll go over your marketing strategy. If you have a website, paid search, your social media, your Google business, we can go over all that and just give some suggestions of areas that might have room for improvement. So always happy to help out with that. Feel free to reach out. And again, thank you all for being here and taking the time. I think we got it just under 25 minutes, maybe pretty close anyway. But yeah, thanks for coming and have a great day.